Mercedes star George Russell has delivered his demands to F1's rulemakers and snapped back at his countryman Lando Norris. George Russell has called for the FIA to consider changes to track designs which allow drivers to use get-out-of-jail-free cards to escape punishment when racing for position. The Mercedes star complained that some of his rivals have been quite literally pushing the boundaries when it comes to overtakes and believes the problem lies within the choice of deterrent on the outside of track limits, suggesting tarmac areas are encouraging drivers to push each other off the track. The United States Grand Prix saw several drivers veer off the track, especially at turn 12, which proved to be a hotbed for overtakes as drivers used the drag reduction system, DRS, to complete their moves. Race winner Max Verstappen caused a stir when he forced Charles Leclerc to take evasive action off the track with a daring move down the inside and gained the lead. As Russell pointed out, a similar move at a track such as the Red Bull Ring in Austria or Monza for the Italian Grand Prix would result in drivers being forced off into the gravel, which would likely bring an end to their race. And the Briton thinks that the ends should justify the means in this case, requesting the FIA look into changing the rules on tarmac runoff areas. If there's gravel there and someone pushes you wide, you are going to end up in the gravel, so you are not really planning to go there, Russell explained to reporters. Whereas I was always intended to go around the outside, hoping he would leave me a bit of space, and if he didn't, it would just push me away onto a bit of tarmac. You sort of worry about the consequences after. I don't enjoy racing like that, and something does need to change. There are only 3 circuits in the whole season which are like that. After the race, McLaren star Lando Norris suggested Russell had done exactly the same thing that he was accusing his rivals of. The 25-year-old issued a surprising response, admitting that he has used the get-out-of-jail-free card himself on more than one occasion, but doesn't think it should be allowed to happen. At the end of the day, we are all racing to the same rules, Russell said, addressing Norris' comments. Naturally, if you are racing in Monaco, you can't go beyond the limit because you'll end up in the wall, whereas in Japan, you can't go over the limit because you'll end up in the gravel. Whereas, at COTA, your only consequence is running off onto a bit of tarmac. Monza, for example, I came out of the pits, went over the limit knowing I have got that get out of jail free card, and the same in Barcelona. You don't want to have a get out of jail free card, so the FIA need to find a way to avoid that. The drivers head to the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez this weekend for the Mexican Grand Prix, where runoff areas are spread around the track as well as tight corners and unforgiving barriers. And even if the FIA agree with Russell, there are unlikely to be any major changes made before Friday's first free practice session.